Hey, what's up, kids, ladies, gentlemen? Today we are going to be talking about two Gothic mystery books. The Dark Mill by Claudette Nicole and Castle Garac from Nicholas Montserrat. This video is in preparation. This is a little teaser of a video we have coming up that I'm going to make called Guide to Gothics. What I've learned so far reading this wonderful genre, the Gothic Mystery, of the boom of the 60s, 70s era. So look out for that in the future. But right now we're just going to talk about these two, starting with The Dark Mill. All right, we got The Dark Mill here. Claudette Nicole, Fawcett Gold Medal, 1972. I don't know who did the artwork. I tried to find it, but to no avail. The Dark Mill is written by Claudette Nicole, and Claudette Nicole is actually the Trailsman creator, John Messman, the very manly John Messman. John Messman was responsible for many action and men's adventure series like The Revenger, which was inspired by The Executioner, and he also did several entries in the Nick Carter Killmaster series. Who else do you want writing your Gothics than the author of the Killmaster series? He had a two-part series inspired by the Travis McGee books called Logan. He also wrote most of the first 200 of the adult Western series, The Trailsman, which he created. As far as Gothics went, he wrote 9 of them under the pseudonym Claudette Nicole, and The Dark Mill here is the 5th one, came out in 1972. Alright, the basic premise. Valerie Curtis is a compassionate nurse who cares for a rich old lady named Carletta Van Dyne while she's in the hospital. Carletta is enamored with the thoughtful nature of Valerie and offers her a job babysitting, her granddaughter for 2 months in her remote Maine chateau. The pay is $3,000 and all expenses paid. Valerie, who's in a mental slump, decides she needs to rejuvenate her life, and she takes this job. When she arrives at the estate with the mysterious name of Verdelais, no one is there but the gaunt, lurch-like caretaker, Labat. She waits for a month, all alone, getting depressed, wondering why she's even there. Out of nowhere, the little girl Tansy appears at the front door. She's so happy to see her. Here's that little girl. Oh, hi, little girl. How's it going? The little girl's like, hey, can we go down to the old mill? This is what I want to do first. They go down to the old mill. It's a dilapidated structure, rotten boards. They're walking around, exploring. Valerie hits a weak board, falls through, spinning the mill, and lands underneath it. While hidden underneath, wedged underneath this thing, she's avoiding it because it will crush her as it goes. She narrowly escapes and gets knocked over the head on the way out. She awakens in the bed to a handsome man standing over her. Who is this handsome man? That's Bob Van Dyne, and he is Tansy's uncle. He's charming, boisterous, outgoing, confident, and he wants a piece of Valerie's pudding pie. And Valerie, she's not against this prospect. Standing behind Bob is another man. Who is this man? This is Glenn Perry. He's a friend, co-worker of Bob. He is quiet and sheepish, submissive to all of Bob's commands. The lack of backbone bothers Valerie. What a waste of a handsome man, she thinks. The little girl, Tansy, isn't bothered in the slightest of this near-death accident of her new babysitter. She almost seems bored of it. She's a smart-mouthed little brat whose sole purpose is to belittle Valerie psychologically. She's described as looking like Shirley Temple with bouncing blonde curls and little cutie pie dresses. You're gonna hate this girl? Not feel guilty about it. As Valerie gets to know these new people, she's also informed that there is another uncle showing up, and that would be Brother Martin Van Dyne. Brother Martin is a monk who's left the official church, but is still a man of the cloth. Brother Martin is an odd character. He sits around with a smirk on his face, constantly spewing these nihilistic philosophies on the inherent desire to kill inside of human beings and how there's nothing wrong with it. He strangely seems to not believe in good or evil, so therefore any travesty a person commits is in the laws of nature. Valerie is not a fan of this philosophy or his company. Like most Gothic mysteries, the mystery is whether the odd things that are happening are real or in the main character's head. Is there a conspiracy against her? Who can she trust? The mystery in The Dark Mill is, who is this strange aristocratic family and what are their dark secrets? Was Valerie really hired to care for this little girl, or is there something more sinister at work here? Gaslighting is a huge part of most of the Gothics that I have read, and this one is no different. The little girl, Tansy, is a sadist whose torment of Valerie escalates as the plot progresses. By the end, Valerie is in a very tight spot, and she has to make some serious decisions that go against her moral character. It makes me wonder if Messman was really trying to say something. Is there a murderous nature hidden inside of every human waiting for the right moment to come out And what would be the moment? What would be the turning point for this to come out? And then when it does, is it necessarily a bad thing? Is there good and bad? Is it just nature? Maybe I'm reading too much into it. You know, maybe it's just part of the character development, part of the mystery. But I feel like maybe he was trying to say something about the nature of human beings. Either way, this is a wonderful conspiracy mystery, peppered with all the Gothic flavor that you need. Here's a little taste. All from the first paragraph. Carnivorous old house. Afternoon turned gray. Chill wind. Her tall, willowy body. An echo of the cattails. Violet eyes. Jet black hair. The wind stabbed at her again. Strange place. Hollow of land. Beauty here was an ominous thing. At once frightening and compelling. At times she found herself one with the aloneness of it. But today, in the grayness, she wished the others would come. There'd be no reason why they hadn't come. No word given why the child hadn't arrived weeks ago, as was the arrangement. Only the houseman's muttered assurance that they will come. So yeah, loved it. I loved it, obviously. John Messman writes one hell of a Gothic novel. All right, I'm a dude. I know that it's not. Is it really the Gothic if the guy's writing it? Why not? I really enjoyed his other Gothic that I read, The Haunting of Drum Row. It's one of my favorite Gothics that I've ever read. I like how the mystery's at the forefront, romance is on the back burner. But then again, most of the Gothic books that I've read, the romance is on the back burner, the mystery is at the forefront. Maybe it's the ones I'm choosing, I don't know. Either way, if you're gonna read a Gothic, if you're gonna start somewhere, Claudette Nicole, John Messman Gothics are a wonderful place to start. All right, Castle Garac, Nicholas Montserrat, originally published in 1955. This is the third pyramid printing from 1968. Once again, I don't know who did the cover. I tried to find it. Nicholas Montserrat was a lieutenant commander in the Royal Navy. He served in World War II and afterward used his seafaring wartime experience to write many books on the subject. In 1955, in the midst of all this wartime thriller action, he published this here spooky Gothic. Alright, the basic premise. Thomas Wells is a penniless American writer living abroad in Nice, France. He's just finished his first book and sent it off to the publisher and he's waiting for his paycheck. At the moment though, he doesn't have any money to eat. While sitting at a cafe drinking his last dime's worth of coffee, he spots a well-to-do man sitting over there at that table right there. The man, whose name is Paul Earhart, invites him over, buys him a petit pain. I googled how to say it. Petit pain. I'm saying it wrong. Petit pain, some kind of croissant, I don't know, some kind of bread. After basic formalities and pleasantries, he learns of Thomas's plight, his lack of money, and he offers Tom a job as his personal secretary. Tom is then introduced to Paul's wife, Anna. Anna's flirty. She comes on to Tom right away. But Tom doesn't want to blow this job, so he spurs her advances. Later on, Anna tells her husband Paul that she wants to bang Tom. And what does Paul say? Paul's like, as you wish, my love, go get him. And here we have our first hint that there's more than meets the eye to this rich power couple. They also have in their employ a local driver henchman, I guess, named Hugo. What could they possibly want Paul for that they couldn't get Hugo to do? Tom is perplexed by these people. They have these weird accents. He can't place where in the world they're from, and they will not admit anything. Eventually, they just start throwing money at him, and all of their eccentricities mean little when compared to all the petite pains that Tom can eat. So what do they want Tom to do? What's his job? They want him to travel out to the country of Grasse? I don't know, in the Alps Maritimes and find them a castle to rent. They have extremely specific qualifications for this castle. Like it has to have a wall around it. It has to have a tower. It has to have a chapel inside of it. They say they want the atmosphere of the 18th or 19th century to escape all of the noise of the current world. Tom decides that seems reasonable, grabs his camera, and heads on up to the mountains. After his first quest, he's given another. This one more strange. He has to find a 19-year-old blonde girl who looks and acts her age, is a native French speaker, and has zero family ties. And here Tom is like, no, this is no good. This is a ridiculous request. What would you possibly want with this girl? I'm not putting anyone's life in danger. But Paul assures him that no harm will come to this girl and that she will be more than adequately paid. The pay will change her life. Tom knows he's into something shady now. He has moral conundrums to complete this quest for this strange couple. But once again, it's hard to turn down all that money, and he was assured that it's in the girl's benefit for him to find her, so he carries on. So does he find the girl? What do they want with her? What's up with this castle Garac? Who are these weird people? And here we have the Gothic Mystery. It's a conspiracy, but it's in Tom's face. He's not being gaslit like in other Gothics. He knows it's bullshit, but he keeps up with the charade. What do you think? Does this have to do with the fact that our main character is a man? Why is the male protagonist character in the Gothic different from all the other female protagonist characters in all the Gothics I've ever read? This book is an interesting sociological example of how men and women were viewed differently. I don't know what to think about it. This is the first Gothic I've ever read where the protagonist is a male. Why did he use a male? I don't know, because I think the Gothics before were more of like a horror thriller type genre, and then when it blew up in the 60s, it was marketed directly to women. So all the protagonists became the women. All the main characters were women, women's fears, not being believed, being tricked, being lied to. I mean, not that anyone wants that, but I guess they assume that a man's fears would be more like physical violence, being contained, maybe? I don't know. Other than the lack of gaslighting, this thing is tit for tat, the Gothic Mystery. We have a sole character plucked from their normal life, placed in an isolated location with unfamiliar faces who seem friendly at first. The story is saturated in Gothic atmosphere. Did we even get a crumbling castle up in the French hill mountainside? Romance-wise, we have Anna oozing sexuality, hitting on Tom, but then we also have a more wholesome love affair. It's pretty fun. It's a pretty fun book. One of the downsides is the pacing is like being behind someone on the road who keeps checking their phone while they're driving. So you be going normal speed, and then you see the head go down, and then it slows down to 5 miles under the speed limit for like a block, and then they're done with their message, so they look up, and they start driving the normal limit, and then they check their phone again and slow down. On and on and on. Go lol. Go lol. At one point, some of the characters do something that would warrant an action from Tom. What does Tom do? He goes down to the cafe, has some more petite pains, drinks some orange juice, just kicks around his day in the cafe. I was like, what is going on? You gotta figure this shit out now, dude. Then again, other times, he's a man of action. He's fucking scaling walls. He's fist fighting unknown attackers in the dark. He's doing the damn thing. So should you read Castle Garac? Sure. I think this is another great example of an entry-level Gothic. Maybe not the most exciting one, and maybe not the most representative of the genre, but if you like foreign settings, if you're from the US or North America, if you're from Europe, it's probably not that foreign. But we're in France. There is lots of wonderful descriptions of the French town of Nice. You actually can picture yourself there. And then when it goes out into the country, more wonderful descriptions. It's not over-described, just the right amount. The mystery of what's going on. It was kind of funny to read a mystery where he knows it's bullshit, but he keeps going along with it. The romance. There was the budding romance that happens. That was fine too. It was chill. It wasn't too much in the story. There's this funny part when he first meets the girl and she's a babysitter and he wants her to go out with her. He wants her to go out with him, go down to the cafe, have a drink or whatever, have some orange juice. And he's like, oh, you should just throw those babies in the river and come have coffee with me. And I was like, did this dude just say throw those babies in the river? Because that's awesome. So I don't know, Castle Garac, yeah, go for it. Go for it if you see it, absolutely. And that concludes our Gothic reviews for the day. Be on the lookout for the Guide to Gothics video that will be out sometime, hopefully by next month, for next month. And that's it. Turn it